Hello there, welcome back to Retro Rewind. I'm Scotty, you're not. We're looking at an episode of Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place now. I'll pull this out. I should put this back here. Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place. Which was a sitcom that aired on ABC back in the late 90s. It was a part of TGIF at some point, but more so when it was two guys and a girl. It was definitely, there was actually two different names to the show. It started off, the first two seasons were Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place, and the Pizza Place was phased out, and from seasons 3 and 4, it was just two guys and a girl. This is episode 6 of season 2. Hey, that's the same as Home Improvement. Two Guys, a Girl, and a Psycho Halloween. All the episodes of the first two seasons have that. Two Guys, a Girl, and a blank is the title of the episode. So, and there's definitely some setup for what the later seasons would be. Yeah, season 2 introduced... Okay, so the main characters are Pete, Berg, and Sharon. Three college... Well, they're going to graduate school, I think. They're out of college, but they're studying, stuff. Pete is an architect. He's going to school to be an architect. Sharon was a lawyer, I think, at one point. I don't know if she is here. And Berg is studying to be a doctor. And in the meantime, they work at a pizza place. Sharon visits them. She does work in the pizza place one episode. But the pizza place goes away after season 2. But this is season 2. I definitely like... I think the reason why the pizza place goes away is because after the first season, it's not really needed. Stuff happens there. But there's a lot more going on in season 1 with some side characters that are taken out of the show to give us different side characters that have more to do with the personal life. Like Johnny, played by Nathan Fillion, who ends up being Sharon's boyfriend. By the way, our main characters are Pete, played by Richard Raculo, Berg, played by Ryan Reynolds, and Sharon, played by Traylor Howard. Johnny is Nathan Fillion is Sharon's boyfriend here, and then there is Ashley, played by Suzanne Cryer, who is a love interest for Berg and works with him at the hospital. And the episode, now there's something you have to know about the Halloween episodes of this show. They're completely out of continuity, especially how this episode ends. They're completely out of continuity, have nothing to do with the rest of the series. There's no connectivity to any other stuff. There is some plot lines mentioned, like Berg and Ashley's budding romance, but yeah. So it starts with Berg and another guy, because we gotta have our first victim. In the morgue, they got morgue duty. Berg invites the guy to his Halloween party, and they don't get along, so he's like, no, I'll never go. He leaves, and then he gets nervous because he's by himself on Halloween. He turns on the radio, he got the X-Files theme. How they got that, because this was ABC, that was Fox. It does seem like a cover of the X-Files theme, but... And Berg shows up again, acting a bit different, and then hacks them to death with this axe. Off screen, of course. They do this thing every time he goes to kill someone, where a clock turns. It's weird, because it starts with Happy Halloween from Two Guys Are Going to Pizza Place, and then I'm like, okay, so that's the opening. But we have the actual opening, too, after this. So the guys are hosting a Halloween party at their apartment. And these costumes play to their professions, I guess, except for Sharon. But Pete is building a high-rise with a twirling thing. But people like to spin it, and he goes, no. I don't know. I just feel like... I don't know. They're like, why have it in there if you're not going to do it? And Sharon is a mermaid. And we found out that Berg's costume is a doctor. And we'll get it. Johnny is a cowboy, but he was supposed to be a fisherman. That's his and Sharon's argument, is that he was supposed to be a fisherman, but he wanted to be a cowboy, right? So every year, Berg does a Halloween prank. This was the first Halloween episode in the show's run, I believe. I didn't find anything during season 1. So, the season 1 continuity is out of whack anyway, because Pete and his girlfriend break up in the first episode, and then for like the next 6 episodes, they're together still. And I don't know if that continuity is, you know what I mean? There's also the character of Irene, who's not in this episode, and I don't know if maybe she doesn't show up till season 3, maybe? I don't know. But, yeah. And the pizza place is a small part of this episode. It feels like, well, I guess I'll get to it when I get to it. So, Berg shows up at the party, he's got blood on him. And every year Berg does a prank, so Pete says this year he's rigged a keg, left it at the pizza place, and he's going to have Berg go get it, and when he grabs it, a whole bunch of cornflakes are going to fall on him. Which sounds stupid when you find out what Berg's prank was going to be. It's kind of better, in a way. Yeah. Moo shows up, he's acting a little off. Ashley shows up as a Titanic victim. Yeah. I don't know. This was 99, I think, was season 2. So, yeah, the movie was out. Maybe she couldn't be Rose, because Rose didn't die in that movie. Spoiler alert. Anyway, so Pete sends Berg to go get the keg, and Johnny goes with him because he and Sharon are gonna have an argument. But then Berg comes back without Johnny. I just combined Sharon and Johnny without Johnny. And they ask, "What happened?" Johnny, and he makes a comment that Johnny is in a dumpster behind the Dairy Queen. There they find him stuffed in a jukebox. So I don't know. So, yeah. It's implied he kills Ashley. They go into the room. The thing spins again. Like, I'll show you the place. And spins again. So Pete goes to get the keg. And when he goes to get the keg, he hears a noise. He goes back to find bum, 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 Berg tied up with duct tape in the back room. Why didn't the other Berg kill him? We've seen that this guy is psycho, right? But he calls and he's like, "Oh, did you get where's the phone? Did you get my little gift wrap present? Who are you?" Just your average evil imposter or something like that. Ryan Reynolds plays it up real good. Ryan Reynolds, this is show you how good an actor Ryan Reynolds would become. He plays the normal Berg very well as the psycho Berg very well. It works. But yeah, so they call Sharon, which they call the house, and they don't know if... How do you know that she's going to answer? But she does answer. And the gag with her is that she's in a mermaid costume, so she can't run. She's being moved around the party by one of those little trolley things. Little trolley things. Hand cart, whatever you want to call it. But they try to tell her that Pete tries to tell him that that's not Berg, it's a murder, the real Berg is here. She doesn't believe him. Berg gets on the phone, and she's like, "Hey, that's a great Berg impression." And then Ashley comes out and says, "Something wrong with Berg." And it shows that she's dead. She died, but that confirms she's dead. And so Sharon hops out of there and makes her way down to the pizza place. And here, the final showdown is at the pizza place. And this feels like, this is one of the occasions where it feels like, oh, we have to work the pizza place in this episode itself in another show wouldn't need a pizza place setting. But because it's called Two Guys, a Girl, and the pizza place, we had to work the pizza place in. And I know they showed a couple times he goes to get it, that thing, but it feels like they had to have the climax here, where it would make more sense that they would leave and go back to the apartment to confront the guy instead of having it at the pizza place. But because it's called Two Guys, a Girl, and a pizza place, that's what we have to do. So, earlier I should mention a cop showed up, played by Ken Lerner, great Ken Lerner, I know as Rocco Malachi from Happy Days, or the Principal Flutie from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He shows up earlier in the episode, being called by a neighbor who complained about the noise. By the way, it's not that loud in there. It seems like every show, episode, whatever, that has a party has to have a subplot that the party's too loud, even though it's never as loud as they make it seem. This year, it's not even that loud. But because of this, Pete thinks that it's a fake. That Berg set it up, but turns out it's not. And so he comes back into this towards the end here. And so he has nothing to do with it. And he says these words. I retire at midnight, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to my retirement party. And Berg says what we're all thinking. Well, he's dead. In his Ryan Reynolds way. Well, he's dead. So, yep, he's killed by the other Berg. And then, so by this point, our Berg has changed clothes into the doctor clothes. So we can have oh my God, which one is it? He runs out, he comes back in. And he says, this is the real, I'm the real Berg, it's fine. Help barricade things. And Pete's like, what if it's not the real one? We'd be barricading ourselves in with the killer. And so they asked a question. Last week we played a game where we said which appliance we would be. What did you say? And he says, I don't remember what he says. But she goes, no, waffle iron. Knocks him unconscious with the rolling pin. Now, Pete goes back to get some rope, and another Berg pops up. And he asks him, what would you be? And he's like, the answer should be waffle iron, right? But he says, toaster oven. And so he stabs him, puts his little, the building hat from his costume, little Empire State Building spire, stabs him with it. He goes, I killed the imposter. And he comes out, and he's like, and the other Berg is there, and he's like, oh, really? He opens up the oven, the pizza oven, and there's a fin sticking out of it. Sharon, did you hear he killed the evil imposter? And then he kind of looks at me, he's like, I said waffle iron. So yeah, they kind of, he messed up. Sharon was right. By the way, in case you're wondering if I was an appliance, I would be a deep fat fryer. But you can make your the breaded mushrooms or the cheese curds, so good. I mean, you put cheese curds inside me, which is really weird, but still. So Pete has to run around with the evil Berg, who gets the best of him, and hitting him with the butt of the thing, and it turns around, hits him with it, and then he's like, who are you? And this is where I say it cannot be everyone is dead, so also, he killed the neighbor, removes the mask to reveal Mimi from the Drew Carey Show. Yes. And then he's like, why? Because now I have my own show. And it ends there. And it says, here's scenes from next week's episode of Two Guys, a Girl in the Pizza Place. And it's just shots of the places where you would see them in the episode, but there's no one there. Because everyone's dead, right? Pretty solid episode. I forgot about this one, because the one I always remember is the season 3 episode, because that's the one I remember watching when it was on. So we're talking about that one next time. we'll talk about that one next time. But it's just so fun to go back and watch. And I had forgotten what the twist was going to be because he leaves and then he comes back. And I'm thinking, was this Berg just gone crazy? And then, no, it is an imposter. Okay. And I forgot, well, who is it then? And then it's Mimi. And it's magical how when it's got the Ryan Reynolds mask on, it's skinny, but then take it off and she's Fat Mimi. It's amazing how many shows and movies do that. Where they wear a mask and they're a different size and then they take it off and they're fatter, thinner, something. Who knows? But yeah, so what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.